Autobots, roll out!
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Robot Masters Optimus Prime Knockoff. Now, I recently picked up this guy online. I don't have an actual Robot Masters Optimus Prime, but I found this guy, and the price was right, so I figured I'd check him out, and so far I'm really liking what I found. Released, I don't know when. Like I said, I found this guy online, and I really don't know how long this guy's been in the market. But I did pick it up for $11, so he was pretty cheap. Like I said, the price was right, so I figured I'd give him a shot and see, take the gamble, see what I found. Here in truck mode, he's measured approximately 6 inches long and about 2.5 inches tall. And as you can see, he's based on the G1 Optimus Prime. He rolls okay. He does have some issues being a counterfeit. There are going to be some mold issues, and right off the bat, he rolls perfectly fine. There's no problem with him rolling. But if you watch this second set of wheels, which do these middle wheels here, they work just fine, but they're not rolling because they're not touching the ground. So what's going on here is that I don't know. Like I said, I don't have the Robot Masters, the actual Robot Masters figure, so I don't know how this differs from that mold, but if you look on the legs here, there really isn't anything to level these wheels with the front wheels. So when you have them straight like this, you'll see that the back wheels are actually sitting higher than the front wheels. So when you set him down, he's actually kind of tilted backwards some. So you've got the back wheels and the front wheels doing their job, but the middle wheels are actually sitting up in the air. So that's an issue to take into account there. Other than that, I think any other issues are actual mold issues that are translated that came down from the original Robot Masters mold. Biggest of which is that you've got the visible head right there at the top. Again, they've got the right idea with these molds and these attempts at a newer version of G1 Optimus Prime, but I really wish they would go ahead and come up with some kind of a cover. I don't really think it would have been that difficult to engineer a little spinning, maybe a hinge right here with a flap that will rotate over and cover this up. Just tab into the front there, cover that up, and then you can just flip it back in robot mode and tab it to the back here. It just seems simple enough to me, but I don't know. So yeah, so he's got a visible head. The actual truck itself is a little broken up, as you can see from the cab sits a little high. You've got this gap between the bumper and the front wheel there. Again, this is the same design issue that comes from the original toy. This is not because it's a knockoff. The actual original toy, I've seen enough pictures and reviews of it to know that comes from that. And of course, you've got your hands are right there behind the grill there, and they do have a tendency sometimes to sit a little far back. As no matter how much you try to push this forward or try to push that grill back, you're going to have a little bit of a gap right there, and you can see between the grill and the headlight. So again, that comes from the original mold. And then one last thing. And I'm not sure if this is knockoff or original mold's fault, but the cab doesn't lock, so you can be playing with it and then just turn the cab like that, and oops, okay, hang on, let me straighten that out. So, and again, I don't know if the actual Robot Masters toy locks, so I don't know if that's knockoff or a real toy. But all in all, generally speaking, it's a relatively good-looking representation of the G1 truck. It could use some minor touch-ups, but if they took another attempt at this with today's engineering, they might do a little better job. So, as far as the quality, I'm happily surprised with the quality on the plastic of this guy. This is good, sturdy plastic. It does not feel brittle or thin at all. So I'm not afraid of breaking this toy. I've transformed him several times already. He's pretty tough. I'm really impressed with the quality of the plastic on this guy. Paint job is okay. There's some minor issues with the paint job. Probably you can see right there that on the wheel they got some black some silver on the black part of the wheel. That's probably a very easy fix. There's some other paint issues that we'll look at in robot mode, and again, they're probably easy fixes. I'll take care of them myself. Considering the source, you know, you do have to keep in mind this is a knockoff, and it was 11. I got this thing for $11 shipped. By the way, that was shipped price was $11. So the price was right. So. And also taking into consideration the size of this is like an upsized version. If you actually got the Robot Masters version of this, it would be considerably smaller than this. This is an what you call an upsize knockoff, so, or an upscale knockoff. So this guy is about Voyager size. So I'm really liking it. I'm so far, you know, he's got his issues, but I'm enjoying it. It's a very cool little G1 Optimus Prime to have. Transformation for this guy is very simple. You're going to start with the legs here. You want to go ahead and actually, you want to take the cab and just kind of bring it up like so. And then at this point, you can probably take the whole back part of the what's going to be the legs here and just go ahead and bring those down. Rotate this around and then bring it back down again, and that's going to be your legs. Separate the legs down here and bring up your feet. And there you go. Bottom half of the robot is pretty much done. And again, we've got some paint issues here. You can see there's some leftover blue paint right here on this crotch piece, and then over here on these yellow details, that was actually me the first time I was transforming it. That's why I was telling you on the transformation to pick this cab up, because well, and then turn the legs when I told you to do so, because the first time I went to transform him, the legs were down like this. So when I went to spin the cab, that red tab scraped right over those yellow pieces right there. And that's caused that scratch right there. So I'm going to have to go back and fix that. The rest of the truck, or the robot rather, is pretty much a very good representation of G1. Let me stand him up there and reset the camera because we're going to get a little tall. So as you can probably expect, the sides of the truck here, these are going to be the arms. So these guys are just going to pull straight out, just like so. Just rotate those down. And this is really cool. I really like what they did here. You can see inside of the cab that you've got those sections in there. And these are spring-loaded. These are being held up by the arms when they're put away in truck mode. So when you bring the arms out, these sections are, like I said, they're spring-loaded. They come down and they fill in that part of the chest. So you don't have that hollow side torso that like the G1 figure had. Once these pieces come down, you can actually bring this whole thing all the way down, and it's kind of hard to show on camera, but you want to get this red tab right here in between these two pieces that just came down, and that's going to fill everything in real nice. And if you can't get it like I just did, I got it on this side but not on that side, and there's an easy fix to that I'll get to once we get the whole robot transformed. So come back here to the back of the arms, pull these forward just like you did with the G1. The headlights turn out to form the fist, and then you can just bring the arms down, straighten them out, and then finally you can see the heads up here, so just pull this guy up, turn it around, and there is Optimus Prime in robot mode. Now, you can reach inside here, because this guy's pretty hollow, you can reach inside here and go ahead and pop that side piece of the torso out, just like that. So there you go, so now you've got the torso popped all the way out, that gap's being filled in, and yeah, so there he is. There is Robot Masters, Knockoff Robot Masters Optimus Prime in robot mode, and I really, really like the way this guy lays down on the job and doesn't want to do anything. No, I really love the way this guy looks. Check this guy out. He's a very, very good representation of that G1 Optimus Prime. Here in robot mode, he measures approximately 7 inches tall. He's got pretty good articulation. The head is it's not really on a ball joint, but because you've got this hinge right here for transformation, you can look up and down. And then you've also got the a swivel, of course, so you can turn the head around. You know, again, for transformation, because you've got to do that with it. But that gives you a very good range of motion with the head. Now, you've got the clear back part of the head there, and you can see there's it's meant to have light piping. But if you take a good look at the front there, I don't know if that's coming through with the light or not. The eyes are not hollowed out. In fact, the eyes are completely unpainted. You can see the mold for the eyes there, where the eyes are supposed to light up from the back. But it's a solid piece, so no light's coming through. So I'm either going to go in there and cut the little eye pieces out so you can get some light piping, or I may just go in there and put some yellow detail in there and just be done with it. So I haven't decided yet. You can see on the mold right here that you've got this raised piece there, which looks perfect for a an emblem of some sort that I'm not that I'm not going to mention, but I do have some emblem stickers that I may or may not be putting there later when I finish touching the paint job on this guy. Again, for articulation, you've got a ball joint on the shoulders, so you can move the shoulders up and down. You can spin them all the way around. You've got a rotation right here on the top of the bicep. You've got a good bend at the elbow, a good 90. Again, you saw that for the transformation. No rotation at the wrist. You've got a little bit of in and out due to the transformation, which does help a little bit with some of the poses. You know, you can give them some cool poses and bring the fists in a little bit. You do have some waist articulation, but again, if you're going to do that, then you have to kind of pull up on them a little bit, and then you're kind of going to break it up a little bit. But if you want to use it, it is there. You can rotate them at the waist. I like to bring that all the way down like so and just completely fill in the gap. You've got ball jointed hips, so you can go in and out a little bit. You're hindered because of the wheel that's mounted back here, but you can go in and out a little bit. You can also move forward and backwards. You are a little bit hindered, and you're going to be hitting this side of the torso again, and that is, once more, that's due to the original design of the figure, and it has really nothing to do with the fact that it's a knockoff. And I'm going to get to that here in a second. Sadly, there's no thigh rotation or anything like that. You do have a good bend at the knee, and due to transformation, you've got a little bit of tilt right there on the feet. So yeah, I find this guy to be relatively well articulated and a relatively good looking figure. Good quality plastic. The paint job's okay. A little bit of a touch up needed on it, but that's to somebody like me, that's really not a big deal. Again, for $11, I think this guy was a steal. I really, really, really like this figure. Now, going into some of the issues that I have with, like, the mold, for example, this whole waist piece down here is it kind of breaks up a little bit, and this is, again, original toy design. What they've done is that they've taken this whole thigh piece here, or waist piece rather, and instead of making a waist piece and then have the legs connected below or inside of that, the legs actually come all the way up and become the waist piece. So when you try to, like, say, for example, kick forward, your whole side of the waist piece is actually moving up. It breaks the entire waist piece, just as you can see right there. So it does break up the mold a little bit, and that's original toy design. So that's a little bit of a shame that it does that. Looking at some of the accessories that came with, he came with quite a few accessories. Now, sadly, you weren't able to really mount these on the vehicle, and that's something that I'm not a big fan of, when you've got weapons that you can't incorporate into the vehicle. Now, not only can you not incorporate these hide them in the vehicle mode, you can't even incorporate them. You know how a lot of times nowadays you've got these primes that come with swords or weapons or cannons or whatever, and whatever they come with, they mount to the back of the truck, and you just kind of mount them there. I'm not a big fan of that. This guy doesn't even do that. When this guy's in robot mode, you got nowhere to put any of his weapons. You just kind of got to set them aside. But looking at his accessories, you've got this rifle that he came with right here, very G1 looking rifle. I really like the way this rifle looks. And, obviously, you're seeing there that it is blue and not black. Again, easy fix. I am probably going to fix this and make it black myself. But actually, I'm not going to mount that on there just yet. And there's a reason for that. So there's that. He comes with this Energon Axe. And you can see that there's no handle on the Energon Axe. There's a specific way to mount this, so we'll get to that in a second. He comes with this big giant cannon, which I have no idea where the inspiration for this came from. It's this thing is yellow. Everything else he came with is blue. And this one thing is yellow. Now, apparently this thing is supposed to be spring-loaded. You can see the little button right here with the lever that is supposed to launch this missile out. And even the instructions, this guy did come with instructions, and it tells you right there to put the missile in, press the button, and it does tell you that it is spring-loaded, but it is not. This just sits in there. You can lock it so it stays in place, and if you hold it straight down and then pull the button, the missile will come out. And I guess at this point you can throw it at somebody to blow up their face. I don't know. But I may look around in my parts bin, see if I can find a spring for this, and I may try to spring load it myself. So again, consider the source, consider where it came from, consider how much I paid for it. I'm not terribly upset over that. And then the last thing this came with is another set of fists. Now, if you look at Optimus here, you're going to notice that the fist hole on this side is square, where the fist hole on this side is round. He came with the two fists with the square hole on him. They were already mounted. You know, so this was his left fist that he had on him out of the box. Both of his out of the box fists. These were his two fists out of the box. And then he came with these other two additional fists that have these round pegs. Now, here's the issue with that I have with my round peg fists is that I got two left fists. So, oh well. I guess you can always flip it around if you want to put it over here, and it's not terribly noticeable, at least not in robot mode. But because they have the headlights on them, when you go to transform them into robot mode, they do have a little bit of a lip on what is supposed to be the top of the headlight. So if you transform it in the truck mode, it's going to be one side's going to look like this, and then the other side's going to look like that. So, oh well. But what I've done is I've gone ahead and just gave him his right fist with the square peg, and then the left fist with the round peg. And the reason for that is because if you noticed, his G1 looking rifle has a square peg. So this guy will work just fine, putting him into that fist right there. And then, you know, if you have the square peg fist and you try to give him this weapon, that's not going to work because it just falls off. So I gave him his left fist with the round hole so that he can hold this rifle right there. So now he's able to hold both of these, shoot some lasers and fire some missiles and blow off some faces. So there you go. I really like that. I like the way that looks. That's actually really, really cool. And then we'll go ahead and take these weapons off. And then for the Energon Axe, what you're going to want to do is you're actually going to want to take the fist out. And this can be a chore. And I don't know, again, if this is knockoff or original design. But these guys can be pretty tight. So let's see if I can manage to... There we go. You know, I've done it a few times, so hopefully I've loosened it up enough. The first couple of times was actually scary trying to get that in there. So you just notice you've got just two nubs on each side of that, and you've got these two little holes on the inside of the arm right there. And then you've got the Energon Axe that does the same thing. So this guy just slides right in there. He's going to pop right in place, and there you go. Now you've got Optimus with his Energon Axe ready to chop off your face. I love that. I think that is just so cool. I think we're just going to... What do you think? We'll just give him his Energon Axe and then give him a giant missile launcher and make him just look completely badass? What do you think? Yep, that Optimus is ready to mess you up and do really bad things to your face. I love that. So, yeah, let's get this guy back to his original configuration. Like I said, taking those fists on and off was a little scary at first. Now that I've done it a couple of times, I think it's loosened up a little bit, just enough to be able to do it without being too scary. Do be careful with the rifle. Putting the rifle all the way in does get tight. I had made the mistake of putting it all the way in, just like so, and then I was barely able to get it out right before I wanted to do this review. And that also got scary. So there you go. There is Robot Masters Knockoff. Robot Masters Optimus Prime. And real quick, just for comparison, I'll bring this guy in. This is the Classics Optimus Prime from the current Age of Extinction 2-pack that comes with the Invasion Mode Prime as well. And you can kind of see that the Robot Masters, the knockoff Robot Masters version, is a little taller. So this is a really, really nice Voyager-sized action figure. I'm really impressed with it so far. I'm really having a good time playing with it. And, you know, like I said, he does have some issues. He's not perfect, but he was dirt cheap, and the few issues that I have with him are easily fixed. They're mostly paint and detail kind of stuff like that. So it's unfortunate about the truck mode with the whole leg thing that doesn't really straighten out. But you can tilt the cap forward just a little bit and kind of fake it out, so that's not terrible either. So yeah, there he is. There's one last look at the Robot Masters knockoff Optimus Prime. I'm really, really digging this figure. I'm really glad I like it. And I think that's pretty much going to cover this figure. So please, leave me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.